Welcome to the adventure capital of Argentina, and our favorite destination for casual hiking that we've ever been to. San Carlos de Bariloche is a hiker's paradise, and a city that every outdoor enthusiast should have on their bucket list.
Wow, this place is so great.
Bariloche is getting bonus points out the wazoo.
We can visualize all the things we want to do in the next 6 weeks, and being able to look out on the horizon and see just dozens of hikes and small towns branching off of Bariloche we haven't explored yet, seeing the city of Bariloche and then all the mountains surrounding the area.
And knowing that there are trails out there just waiting to be hiked, and 3 national parks or reserves within public transportation.
I'm just so excited. I feel like we picked a great spot. There's so much to do here.
During our 6-week stay in the town, we hiked as many trails and mountains as we could manage, and there are still so many more that we have ambitions to come back and hike. Welcome to Hiking Stories in Bariloche, Argentina. We arrived in mid-March and stayed until the end of April. This meant we got to experience almost full autumn weather, hot sunny days, leaves changing, and even the first snowfall. Although this is nowhere near an exhaustive list of hikes in the area, it should serve as enough to get you excited for the beautiful world of Bariloche. This video is divided into 3 parts: viewpoint hikes, Refugio hikes, and family-friendly hikes. If you've done a hike here that we've missed, please put it in the comments. Part 1, viewpoint hikes. Cerro Otto. Perhaps the most common and iconic hike in the city is Cerro Otto. There are almost a dozen routes up this mountain, as the town spreads around it on 3 sides. Regardless of the route you choose, expect around 2,000 to 2,300 feet of elevation gain and between 4 and 8 miles of hiking. None of the routes are particularly easy, but all come with unique and rewarding views of the city, the lakes, and the surrounding mountains. And there's also a little bit of wildlife. This is our first Patagonia wildlife encounter. El Primero wildlife is a little baby snake. I stepped right over him, but I was fine. There is a gondola at kilometer 5 if you want the views but don't want to or cannot go up the hike. Whether you take the gondola or you hoof it on your feet, you'll be welcomed at the top by a restaurant and a bar with a panoramic view. There is a charge to get into the panoramic center. However, to enjoy a beverage outside with the views is no charge, and the food and the beverages are affordable. We highly recommend.
This road is so much better for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's not nearly as steep, and number 2, I haven't seen a single snake since we got on it, which in my book is pretty good.
Cerro Goye. Located just outside of Colonia Sueza, an hour bus ride from town. The trail to the peak is approximately 6 miles, with 2,900 feet of elevation gain. Although there are several loop options that can turn this into a full day trip, or they can connect you with more extensive trails for hut-to-hut hiking. This is a steep hike, with a lot of loose sand making it a challenging ascent. That said, the day we hiked, there wasn't another soul on the entire mountain, and there were heavenly views the entire way up. Depending on your timeline, and when you want to catch the bus, you can enjoy a beverage and a meal in Colonia Sueza after completing your hike. Vista. At just over 5.2 miles and 3,200 feet of gain for a round trip to the peak, Vista is a must hike. It's steep and very challenging, but worth every step. Mare and I chose to split up today. She is taking a rest day and working on some editing. I'm going out for a hike that I don't think she would enjoy. First off, because it's going to be a 2.5 hour hike just to get to the start of this hike, and then you go up the mountain. Anyway, I made it through phase 1, suburbia. Now I'm entering phase 2, more crowded suburbia. But I'm gonna stop for some empanadas along the way, make sure I got enough fuel for the hike. Thank you, empanada. It's been 4.5 hours approximately trying to get to the trailhead, which means I'm gonna have to find a new way home, but we finally made it. Now we just have to get to the top of the mountain. I'm down to 1 empanada, 1 banana, a little bit of nuts, and a bottle full of water. Fingers crossed. The greatest challenge of this hike is getting to the start, as there is no public transportation that we found that heads this way. That said, for under $15, you can Uber to the starting point at Tambo de Bays.
The hike is absolutely beautiful, with unique views of the lakes and the surrounding mountains from the top. I personally prefer the mountain view best. Again, if you're interested in extending your hike beyond the peak, this trail does connect to the network in the national park for an endless amount of distance.
Alright, we made it. Time to cool off, have my final empanada, take in the view, and get on home. What an amazing hike. Vista.
Returning home is easier as hitchhiking out of this area is very common and very safe.
We are 5 minutes from home now. I made some friends on the trail in my broken Spanish and in my moment of most dire need on the dustiest road. This is road, worst case scenario. They pull on over and with the biggest cheers said, vamos, vamos, vamos. Oh, por favor. So we get in. It was a very awkward ride home because I don't speak enough Spanish to carry on a conversation. They probably saved me 2 hours of trying to get home. And now I am 2 blocks from home and I'm just in a great mood. Mission success.
With all the trails connecting throughout the Nahuelhuapi National Park, the surrounding area of Bariloche is home to several refugios for spending the night in the mountains. This network allows you to hike cabin to cabin, similar to the DNT in Norway. These refugios can be booked in advance, and gear can be rented in town if you do not have any. Whether you want to spend the night or not, the 3 refugio hikes that we did were some of the most incredible of our entire time in Bariloche. Refugio Frey. This iconic hike can be reached by public transportation on bus number 50 to Villa Los Cuayes. You begin the hike along Lake Gutierrez before turning the trail to Refugio Frey. A day hike to the peak and back is approximately 18 miles with 3,500 feet of gain, a large chunk of which comes at the end. This hike is full of fall foliage in late April and is absolutely stunning. Because it's a very long hike, if you're not planning on staying the night, be sure to bring a headlamp and watch the clock for when the final bus returns. If you return in time, there are several restaurants in town. Otherwise, it's just a short bus ride home. Refugio Jakob. The hike to Refugio Jakob takes you through another canyon, which at the right time is full of fall colors. In our opinion, it's even more magical and more enveloping than Refugio Frey. The hike begins near Tambo de Bays, close to Vista, so again, we recommend Ubering to the start, as it's very affordable. The round-trip hike to the lake in Refugio claims to be 18 miles with 3,500 feet of gain. However, when we hiked it, we clocked closer to 22 miles, so bring extra snacks just in case. Despite the length and elevation, the hike was fairly gradual and not nearly as challenging as we expected, making it the perfect Refugio hike. Similar to Frey, the hike reaches its climax at the Refugio, set against a stunning alpine lake.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, I haven't even seen the lake yet. This is unbelievable.
Refugio Lopez. The final Refugio hike that we embarked on was Refugio Lopez. This 6.2 mile round trip to the summit comes with 4,100 feet of elevation gain, and a little bit of scrambling.
Once you go past Refugio Lopez, the trail gets a little bit more technical, a lot more technical actually. It's more of a climb, scramble than it is a hike, but it's extremely well marked, and it's a lot of fun. Just ask Mare.
This is my favorite kind of climbing.
Her favorite kind of climbing.
I don't know how I'll feel on the way down though, but that's okay.
We considered it one of the more challenging day hikes that we did while in Bariloche. Located near the Patagonia Brewery, this trail can be reached via public transit on bus number 10, or for $14 if you want to Uber there to save time. The trek begins following a stunning river before turning up, and up, and up. It's a leg burner for sure. There was a really cool looking restaurant about 1/3 of the way up. Unfortunately, it was closed the day that we went there.
This is so cool. That bird looks like a little plane.
It's huge.
The next landmark is the real Refugio, where you can bask in the sun on the rocks and enjoy your lunch while taking in the epic views. As we're finishing up lunch here, it's important to observe this is not an easy hike, by no means. However, there are children, at least at Refugio Lopez, there are children up here. There are people at least twice our age plus a little extra, so it's definitely doable. Just be prepared for a challenge and some uphill, but absolutely worth it. Stunning.
Did you get the last bit of cheese on that?
No, there's no cheese on this.
Oh, okay. I thought I was getting gypped.
No, I'd never chip you.
Okay.
This one's just tortilla.
You can do it, just as long as your partner doesn't gyp you on the amount of cheese you get.
Once you pass the Refugio, the hike up to the peak of Cerro Lopez turns into a Class 4 climb. Or we think. Our goal was to climb until we made it to the lake, which is just shy of the summit. Although the climb was fun, it happened to be the ugliest alpine lake that we have ever seen. The views from the hike might be life-changing, but don't hike this route for the lake.
Well, it just started to level out, and we are optimistic that this is our lake here, and it looks like it is. It's not as pretty as I expected, Mare.
Very shallow.
Yeah.
It's like 4 inches of water.
Well, we've seen so many beautiful lakes here. I guess we've been spoiled and we just had high expectations for this one. The views and the climb up have been spectacular, but
There's no jumping in this one.
no, I guess we could walk across this one, but not much going on here.
If you have the time, this trek does have a loop option and also connects to a larger network. Afterwards, you can take a short walk to refresh at the iconic Patagonia Brewery. We love Bariloche for the challenging, leg-burning, long hikes. However, the mountains around town have something to offer for any level of hiker. These are some of our favorite family-friendly hikes that we enjoyed. The Llao Peninsula. Accessible from public buses, you won't be alone for this walk in the woods. This circuit takes you along the woods in the peninsula for as long as you want to go. There are several places to stop for warm and cold beverages, and can even be extended all the way to the Patagonia Brewery if you want to. This trail comes with ancient trees, peekaboo cliffs, and several different lakes and mountain views. There are also hidden beaches and a lot of birds to take in. You can extend this peninsula trail up to 10 miles if you're ambitious, or you can make it as short as you would like. Along this peninsula hike is an offshoot to Cerro Llao. Adding about 500 feet of gain and about an extra mile, this small peak will provide you with fantastic views of the peninsula and the mountains coming out of the lakes. The peak is spacious enough to stretch out or run around a little bit if you're inclined or have kids who want to run too. Usina Hydroelectrica. If you're wanting to take the family into the woods, but want to avoid some of the popular hikes, we recommend the beautiful and often forgotten Usina Hydroelectrica. With the official path going for just over 2 miles with about 150 feet of elevation gain, this path connects in with trails that extend long enough to fill an entire day, or multiple days, with some easy hiking.
This place is so beautiful.
We discovered it during our 25K that we ran. We didn't know exactly what trails we were on. Ran right through here and it stunned both of us because of its beauty. So we came back knowing it was here, and the water is just as clear as we remember. The forest is even more peaceful. It's our first sunny day since the race, since our first day back here, and
it's a great spot.
It's a great spot.
I think next time we come here, we're gonna bring books and just sit and read and hang out and relax because it's just so peaceful with the sound of the water and the views, and you've got like great coverage from the sun. Yeah, and very easy to get to from the city on the bus.
I love the buses in Bariloche.
Me too.
Most of the path follows a stunning river, with a canopy providing shade and a nesting place for tons of birds.
It's the Chukau Tapaculo. It looks like this. It's a new bird.
If you want to go for a trail run, this is also our favorite place around town to do so. It's mostly flat, mostly shaded, and you'll have it mostly to yourself. Cerro Campanario. Perhaps the most iconic family-friendly hike, achieving global fame after National Geographic dubbed it a top 7 panoramic viewpoint in the world. This viewpoint is not to be missed. The trail is less than a mile, with just over 700 feet of elevation gain. It is a leg burner, but it's short enough to be finished in around 40 minutes.
Just over halfway up, I think.
Oh.
It's a steep climb. I'd say there are people here, but it's not busy. You won't be alone on the trail, but
No.
not
And
too
I had a
crowded.
thought, I'm wondering if it's one of the best panoramic views because it's looking at all the mountains we've been climbing instead of being on top of them looking down at this. So,
Excited to see what's up there.
yeah.
Adding to the family friendliness, this hike also has a continually running chairlift for only $6.50 per person. When you see the views from the top, it'll be no surprise that the peak is so popular, and it's complete with a gift shop and a restaurant just to enhance the experience. No matter where you stand, where you look, or the time of day, the views are magnificent. National Geographic may have been onto this one. This may be one of the best views that we have ever seen.
Well, it's exceeded our expectations. We were skeptics going into it, thinking National Geographic got it
I
wrong.
don't know why we were such skeptics. I guess it's just because everything was so beautiful here. I was like, there's no way it can get better.
It got better.
It really did.
This is busy, it's touristy, I see why. It's an amazing panoramic view. I can't believe we almost didn't come here.
I know. It's so good. You can see the whole town. I feel like this is a place to come like the first day you get to Bariloche, get a lay of the land. You can really appreciate what everything looks like from afar. And then as you go to explore, you'll have that picture in your head.
Or towards the end, where for
That
us we
too.
can look down and be like, oh, remember that? Oh,
We've
remember
hiked there,
that?
we did that.
Because you can
Yeah,
see
that
it
was cool
all
too.
from here.
Yeah, both work, but definitely a must do on your trip. And they've got an awesome gondola ride that you can take up, so it's really family friendly.
Without a doubt.
And a restaurant at the top. You can get hot chocolate, coffee, snacks, souvenirs, water.
Water, agua. So good job, National Geographic. Keep it up.
There are so many other hikes in the region, you'll never run out of opportunities to get outside. All the hikes in this video can be reached by public transportation or just a short Uber ride. If you have access to a car, we have a few other videos on iconic hikes within a short drive of Bariloche. The number one is Pampa Linda. Then, Cerro Tres Monjes. And finally, Cerro Faulkner. Bariloche is a hiker's paradise no matter what your experience level. From jagged peaks, to camping huts, to peaceful rivers and ancient growth forests. This region has it all. Thank you for watching. We feel blessed to have spent so much time hiking here, and we hope you get the chance to feel the wind whip over the water and see the sun set behind the mountains in beautiful Bariloche.